Hello, Peeps. Jordan's Great File 5 here. So I just wanted to give an, late night update on the Shadow the Hedgehog 2 mod I've been working on for Halo, and kind of what's my future plans with it and what I've kind of done since we flash checked on it. Which I don't know, I don't remember if I ever showed the Eggdrones. Well, let me check if I did actually. So it turns out I didn't actually show the Eggdrones or the Eggpawns. So I guess this is the time to kind of show them off. So this is the Eggdrone, and I kind of made it because I feel like it fits with the SWAT bots and the Forces Eggpawns that I have. I'm still trying to figure out how to get these flaps to open, but it's counting as technically like a vehicle because it's a Sentinel. So I'm gonna have to figure out some way to get this to work. For now, it has kind of like this gun under it for the time being, just as a temporary thing. And, it just shoots lasers, and it has this, like, spotlight. I thought it was pretty cool. I think it would be a pretty cool enemy to have here. Just like a flying enemy. So we'll just, and you also can do this to it. Which is pretty funny. But I'm tired as fuck right now. But yeah. As you can see, Shadow has his 1911. So I'll also showcase the map we got here. So we have some more SWAT bots. I already showed off what they are like. Let's take care of these assholes. Now this should have angered these guys. So these are the Eggpawns, which are going to be like the grunts in the mod, right? And they're the Forces Eggpawns because, next to the SWAT bots, they actually do fit with each other. So I thought, it'd be pretty cool. And they're good. They're a good, like, little mini enemy. And one of my friends really wanted to see them properly utilized. As you can see, they're kind of just wobbling around, being comedic. While the SWAT bots are like the more serious leaders. So they can come in red, blue, just similar to the SWAT bots, which also come in different colors. They'll all have their own ranks. Alongside these guys, we'll have normal badniks, which are going to be in more natural areas, but SWAT bots, Eggpawns are going to be more in these, like, Eggman-owned areas to kind of, be enforcers and authoritarian assholes. No fun allowed. And when it comes to the Eggpawns, you may notice they don't actually have a weapon on them. They just have their blasters. So how the hell do you actually use their weapon? So I'll show you that. Let's take care of the SWAT bots here first. Oh wait, these are... Hold on, let me kill these ones first, because... Oh, what the fuck? I don't need that in my face. So if we go up here... Let's try this again. Now they're actually shooting their blasters properly, so they can throw grenades as usual grunts can. They'll run away, of course. Now, when it comes to these guys, when you kill them, they burst into flames and their arms come off. Which I'll go down here so it's a little more quiet. So as you can see, this guy's arm is ripped off, and his arm's right there. And it can be picked up by the player and used as a weapon, which I thought would be pretty cool as a kind of detail. You kind of see them all pointing their blaster arms at you. Which SWAT bots in the SAT-AM, they do have these similar blaster arms, so I may also give them a similar thing. But I based the SWAT bots off their the intro SAT-AM when they have those blasters. And we have another destroyed Eggpawn here. You can see the blaster changes color with the destroyed thing, which only works in third person. Now there actually are different, like, variants of destruction here too. Like for example, let's shoot this guy up. as you can see, is a completely different destroyed model here. His like eyes kind of happening active. I just wanted them to have like more destruction, which you typically don't see this in Sonic games because you're going so fast you don't need to see it. But with this mod, I'm going with a change of design philosophy when it comes to making this. And I'll show you what I mean by this, and this is what I meant when talking about the future. So, you know, first of all, before we do anything, let's pick up this swap bot arm, and I mean this fucking egg pawn. Before we do anything, let's pick up this egg pawn arm. Just works like a plasma pistol, you know, just kind of replacement for the plasma pistol. We'll also take this swap bot rifle, and let's go. So, you know, it just works as a plasma pistol. Destroy shields. Can do all this normal Halo things with it. So yeah, now the thing I wanted to talk about was the change of level design philosophy. As you can see, this map is designed to be more... I based it more on like Sonic a little more, and I realized that was a mistake. Because it just doesn't... This isn't fun platforming. I mean, look at this shit. Like, oh, okay, you can go up here and get an alternate route, like it's heckin' Sonic. It's like, there's no momentum, there's no anything to that, and it's like... There's no rings, there's no springs, there's no gimmicks, it's like... And I realized a lot of that just wouldn't work in Halo. And out here I would have had like a, you know, egg ship or like some kind of, you know, Eggman ship come and soar across. That was my idea with it, and then you get this whole like... I guess this was supposed to be a factory section where you get all this shit here, and you have to go through it like in traditional level platforming, but I just realized this wasn't really fun. Because it just feels like, look at this shit. You're just... Of course there would be enemies constantly shooting at you. I wanted like a phantom equivalent to be shooting at you here, but I just realized, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I don't have like proper enemies because I wanted these guys to be doing shit. But it just doesn't, you know, this just isn't like... I just don't feel like this works compared to like normal Sonic games. You're not building up any momentum, you're just kind of going in a straight line. I'm sure you could add action to that, but I feel like what I should do instead is, instead of trying to make this more like a Sonic game, I should make it more like its own thing. And make it more designed after Halo. And I guess Doom, for that matter, where it's more focused on combat, because I feel like that's what Shadow would be more focused on, instead of like focusing on speed like Sonic does. He's more of a fighter, I would like to imagine. So I feel like when it comes to this level, I'm probably going to cut it, and I'm probably going to replace it with the actual story I want to do for this mod, which I'll explain my ideas here. It is supposed to be like a makeshift spring I've kind of been trying to work on, but I'm probably going to be cutting it. Because, I don't know, there's going to be I don't want there to be rings here, I don't want there to be springs here. The mod itself is going to have a much serious tone than typical Sonic stuff, so... I don't know, just be out of place. You see this giant war going on between Gun and the SWAT bots, and you see the Metal Virus, and you just see rings and springs everywhere. It's like, that's just not going to work. Especially when it feels better. Like when I was over there fighting those SWAT bots, it felt better just, you know, fighting them like that. So I think building the game more around, like, linear levels that are kind of like any of my normal Halo mods, I would say. But yeah, what would happen is you go up on and this was supposed to be like a demo level showcasing everything for the mod. But you'd go up here, spring up here, you go out here, you'd fight a hunter equivalents, and you'd do a little firefight section, and then come out here, you'd fight some general boss for the SWAT bot. But I don't know, I just felt like there could be... I just didn't think it... Like, I kind of lost interest in the project, and I also wasn't having fun making this kind of map, and I feel like designing the maps to be more, you know, kind of like any of my Halo levels. It would be a little more entertaining, and I feel like I'm going to try and just change my design philosophy to not make it more like a Sonic game, but to make it more like it's a Halo game that, you know, plays really fast, because obviously Shadow goes fast, and I still have to add sounds and stuff, and I want Rouge and Omega to be playable characters, because it's fucking Shadow the Hedgehog. You can't have him without Team Dark, and I do not like how they make him such a fucking loner. Like 06 did it perfectly, and they haven't been able to capture that perfectly. But yeah, so now that we're out here, and I've shown what I've had for the map, and my plans are to... I want to port the Tokyo map from Shadow Generations and kind of rework it to be more of what I want. And I'll have a whole, like, asset thing to work with, because I'll have the Tokyo map, because my idea is this mod takes place after Forces, at least my version of Forces, where it's a lot different. For example, Classic Sonic is only in Forces because of the Time Stones, and Eggman fucked up the world so bad they have to use the Time Stones to go back into the past to undo the damage he's done, which gives purpose to Classic Sonic. And I wanted Shadow to take the helm during Forces when Sonic was being tortured on the Death Egg. You know, for him to kind of take over Sonic's role. I didn't want him to be, like, you know, Infinite, to be doing his shit. So that's kind of the basic idea for that, and, you know, of course they win the war, you know, Classic Sonic saves the day of the Time Stones and stuff like that, or I should say Junio Sonic, because I want to use that design. And then, you know, everything's quiet, and then it's in Tokyo, Shadow's just chilling, making sure everything's okay, making sure, and then Rouge is telling him, oh, you're just being too paranoid, Shadow, you should learn to ease yourself, and he's like, I made a promise to Maria to protect humanity. You know, because, you know, Shadow's the guardian of humanity. And then, of course, a slip-space rupture comes out, and you see the egg fleet coming, attacking Tokyo, and starting to glass it and bombard it with, you know, missiles and all that stuff. Well, no, not missiles, blasters. Not actual missiles. And you see SWAT bots coming down and invading. Kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog 1 when the Black Comet comes in, Black Doom's coming in, and his forces are invading. So I wanted something like that. And that's what I want to do. And when that happens, you have to go in, fight for your way through the SWAT bots, through Eggman's forces, quote-unquote Eggman. And then eventually you figure out... Well, actually, I shouldn't say figure out, because there's supposed to be a prequel series I want to do, or some series that takes place in between this. You figure out that it's not Eggman running the armies anymore. It's because Eggman has gone missing from his defeat in Forces. No one knows where he's went. But what happened is that Breezy the Hedgehog, you know, the fucking assassin robot that was made to fuck and kill Sonic, but Sonic fucked it and seduced it, and then Breezy fucked Robotnik's son, and things. Well, she's actually the one running the Empire now, and she's a metal Sonic. So Breezy, under her fucking fleshy appearance, she's actually a metal Sonic underneath, like a green metal Sonic. And she's pretty much just running the show now, and she's just taking everything into account there. And this is where I want to say my canon and lore is different from the official one. So you won't be having any shit like... So a lot of things will appear from the canon, but they're not going to be like... There's going to be changes made, or there's going to be differences. Because this story completely, like, disregards the shit IDW has done with Sonic in terms to, you know, the basic story. It's a little more serious. And it's, you know, it's kind of its own thing, because I wanted to do my own version of it, because I wasn't happy with the way Forces handled this amazing concept. In my canon, I want to have characters like Sally Acorn, I want to have Surge, I want to have Scourge. Honestly, speaking about those two, I wanted to have a whole level where Shadow, Rouge, and Omega have to infiltrate, like, this faction of rebels led by Scourge and Surge. And both of them hate each other. They're kind of like brother and sister, even though they're not related. And they're kind of both a boss fight that I want to have. And I want, like, I don't know. I don't know the connection it will have to the main story. Now, when it came to other ideas I had for the game, I wanted there to be vehicle sections, of course. You can't have a Halo thing without vehicle sections. So, of course, I want the player to be able to fly the same helicopter that was used in Sonic Adventure 1. I mean, I want the player to be able to fly the same hind that was used in Sonic Adventure 2 by Gun, that Sonic escaped from. I want them to use that. And have a whole, because the Hind is pretty much a flying tank, so you could have like Rouge and Omega mounting their own like guns and Shadow like flying the thing. And when it came to the other story elements, I wanted to have, they're just 3 elements that I'm kind of fighting for which can appear, or if I'll do all of them, or if I'll scrap some of them. So the other few factions I want to have is I want to have Infinite come back and have him have his own faction, similar to what Mephiles kind of has, where he has these like these kind of like Mephiles has these like gem creatures from his stuff. Well, I wanted Infinite to have his like Phantom Ruby like creatures or some like army based on that. Kind of similar to what like Frontiers has, maybe. There's also the Rebel like faction that I mentioned before, but they're only going to appear in like 1 or 2 missions before they're just completely wiped off the face of the earth for a certain reason that I haven't decided on yet. The other faction I wanted to make was Mecha Shadow. So Mecha Shadow is actually Mecha Sonic, and he's a Mecha Sonic prototype that wasn't ever used, and Breezy reformats him to be more like Shadow because he kind of has a similar build, and he kind of gains his own consciousness. And eventually, one of the things I really wanted him to do is I wanted him to go to Infinite and rip the Phantom Ruby out of his chest and put it into this like sword thing, and I wanted Mecha Shadow to wear a cape, and I wanted him to be like super badass. So that's kind of an idea I had for him. What was the other idea I had? Alright, and the Metal Virus. And with my Metal Virus, it's going to be more like the Flood, where the infection is like more grotesque, and it's more like, if you've seen those videos of people casting ant colonies with like liquid aluminum or whatever it is, and then getting that's kind of what I want for the Metal Virus. It'll affect both human and I guess you could say Mobian. And I just wanted it to be more like the Flood, so it'd be more Halo 5, of course, in that aspect. At this time, Shadow would randomly decide to jump into a fucking horde of these zombies and get himself killed because, oh, he's so stupid and refuses to listen to Sonic. So such great character writing, because Sega is like, no, he has to be rip-off Vegeta. He can't be a good character, no. Which, for the movie, they did write him well, but it's probably because they didn't have the people from fucking Sega of Japan breathing down their necks being like, you better not heckin' make Shadow not be like Vegeta. That's probably what fucking happened. But yeah, I wanted there to be a whole thing with the Blightlands, with the Metal Virus and stuff like that. But I still have all these ideas in my head. Obviously, it's a lot to put into one game, and some of them I might scrap. Like, I'm not sure about Mecha Shadow, because I kind of don't want him to be like a full-on villain. I want him to be more of like someone that gets redeemed, kind of like what happened with Mecha Sonic. But yeah, what was the other thing? Sorry, I'm just trying to think. But yeah, those are kind of my ideas I've had for this kind of project, and unfortunately, I'm just really spread thin right now, so I don't know if I'll ever realize these ideas as much as I want, because it's like, I have Fredbear's Free to do, I have my Halo Zero Graphic Tranquility to do, I have my animations to do, I have my commissions to do, I just have so much shit to do that I don't know, and it's the same problem with Sonic Extreme, I haven't been able to get to it. But with this, it would be a lot more easier, because, you know, it's already an engine done, and honestly, with me shifting my focus to make it less like Sonic and more of its own thing, it'll actually help me in the long run, because I don't have to spend my time recreating like systems from the Sonic games, and I can just make it like, because it's just way less ambitious, and it's way less stress on me, and I feel like it will work better in the long run, and I think it's worth pursuing that. Now, for my other ideas with this universe, of course, there's Sonic Extreme, which I'll probably make a whole other video on, which, in my universe, of course, classic Sonic is just younger Sonic, so, and he uses the Junio Sonic design, which is the best classic Sonic design, and it should have been the default classic Sonic design, but instead we get San Diego. And I wanted to do an animation series with Sonic that, I had a few ideas for it. Like, the main idea is I wanted a SWAT bot character to actually be... I wanted Tails to reprogram a SWAT bot, and for him to be like a mainstay of the cast, like to be like a... I don't know, I wanted him to be like a... I guess Terminator 2 kind of is the inspiration, and Legion from Mass Effect 2. That's kind of what I want for this SWAT-bot character, where he's like a character that gets reprogrammed to be a part of the, I guess you can say, the Sonic team, part of Gun. And he kind of learns about... He kind of just learns to be more of a human, I guess you can say, and beyond his programming. And another idea I had for that series was actually inspired by the Mimic from FNAF, where you have this mecha Sonic thing. And I haven't decided on if it's going to be... I haven't decided on the actual design, but my idea is it's like a Mimic, where it takes the bio data from the... It kind of like what Metal Sonic does in Heroes. But my idea is it has an encounter with Shadow, Rouge, and Omega. And it kind of takes the information from Rouge first, bases her entire personality on Rouge, and then takes information from Shadow and Omega, making her end up being more stronger as a, as a combatant. So she's pretty much mimicking what they do and using their abilities against them, and even managing to mimic their voices, which can really fuck with people. When your superior officer is suddenly giving you orders to do stupid shit, because it's not actually your superior officer. You're being tricked by a mimic Mechasonic. And then this Mechasonic ends up, like, just gaining more strength over time, getting Chaos Emeralds. And one thing I really wanted to have, like, in this series, obviously it's going to take place in the same time as this game, or sometime before it, is I really wanted there to be a final battle between this, I guess I haven't decided on if it's going to be like I haven't decided if it's going to be a male or female Mechasonic yet. I don't know, because originally I was like, it'd just kind of be like a mimic, like Mechasonic that's kind of more like a Shadow, but I'm already doing that with the Shadow the Hedgehog 2 game, so... I thought the idea of like a Rouge the Bat Mechasonic would be kind of cool. But my idea was that she would have like a final battle with the actual Mechasonic from Scrapnik Island, and the actual Mechasonic would kick her ass and completely defeat her, despite being a Scrapnik. That was kind of an idea I had. But yeah. Anyways, this is just like some unfiltered commentary. I don't know. I'm just so fucking tired. I can't edit this right now, and I just want to get this out and just give an update on this project. But yeah, those are kind of my ideas. I hope one day I can get them done. Just to spread Finn, but I honestly I should do this more, because it feels so good just to fucking tell people about this shit that I kind of have in my head. Shit that's probably not gonna happen in years, but I always like to plan ahead for this kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you people enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it wasn't really edited, but yeah, thanks for watching.